When MSI contacts you and asks you to build an all-black PC with a little bit of white lighting on the inside to hide all of the components, you know I'm about to accept the challenge. We'll be featuring MSI's Aero RTX 3060 Ti. Not only that, but we have the all-black design of the Z690i Unify motherboard. To make this challenge even more sweet, I'm going to create our own custom liquid for this system. I think it's about time we get on unboxing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be doing an ITX build today. This is the LIAN O11 Dynamic Mini. This is the, I guess, the smaller version of the all popular O11 Dynamic, which everyone and his dog and his girlfriend's cousin's mum has. So get this thing unboxed and we're gonna be doing the all MSI challenge inside this PC. See what we can do with it. All black design, white lighting. Come on, just slide out, man. So for prepping the case, we have to remove the front and the back panel. Prepping, it sounds like I'm making you guys a meal. We're gonna be, I mean, the only way I could make you an all black meal was to absolutely char grill it, overcook it. So we need to remove the top panel in order to have access to pull up the glass and slide that out. We're also going to remove the front glass as well to make more access, get our hands in the build, you know, get the tubes installed and all that good stuff. And apart from that, we'll remove the back panel now as well. We'll get that out of the way because we've also got to do cable management stuff at the back. So undo the screws and then this should come loose like that. And that's pretty much it. Now to create an all black system, we obviously need an all black motherboard. MSI sent through their MSI Z690i Unify motherboard. This beast of a motherboard has USB Type-C Thunderbolt. We've got built-in Wi-Fi, plenty of USB ports, and this is going to support our 12th gen i7 CPU. Look at that stealthy design. Now with this system being somewhat mid-tier in a way, with the GPU being the 3060 Ti, how about we go with a 12-core, 20-thread i7 12700K CPU from Intel. Now this particular CPU still has the fast speeds of the single core performance, so it's gonna make it a really nice and fast gaming PC. And I think this is just gonna power up nicely with the GPU, so let's go ahead and get this one installed. For gaming, cores do matter up to a certain point, but the major performance comes from the single core speeds on top of the GPU performance. The i7 12700K can turbo boost up to 5 GHz, so this will pair up nicely with our GPU of choice without breaking the bank. It also doesn't chew up too much power, with 190 watts being used at peak. Now for this little pocket rocket of a machine, we need some super fast storage, so we've actually got two NVMe drives going inside the system. We've got a 1 terabyte Spatum M480 drive from MSI, and we've also got a 2 terabyte Spatum drive from MSI, both with read speeds of up to 7,000 megabytes per second. Super fast storage going into this system. Because these drives are Gen 4, we get to take advantage of the 7,000 megabytes per second read and 6,800 megabytes per second write speeds. Games will load a lot faster than a regular hard drive, and the boot times of the PC will also be noticeably faster. Usually, most ITX motherboards are only compatible with one M.2 drive. However, the MSI Z690i Unify has 2 slots, with one being carefully placed at the back. EK recently launched their Quantum Velocity 2 CPU water blocks, and for this particular system, it's very important that we introduce as much black as we can as possible. This is a challenge, and we're here to compete in that challenge. So we've gone for the accental version. It's got the nickel coated sort of copper block with the accental finish on top of it, giving it that all black design. EK's new Velocity 2 blocks are designed to eliminate the appearance of screws while maintaining premium performance. They do this by installing pre-tensioned springs concealed within the water block top. The screws are actually tightened from the back with just a few twists of the mounting system. The block also covers the majority of the socket while sticking to Intel's safe zone guidelines, meaning that you are getting a lot more coverage for a better look rather than seeing capacitors and PCB. Our RAM for this system has an all-black design. This is the Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB DDR5 RAM, 32 gigabytes going into this system, making it an absolute beast. Not only that, look how black these RAM sticks are. And with the white lighting that we add to the RGB, that's just gonna complement the inside of the build really nice and add a bit of lighting to the middle of the motherboard so that we can see the goodness of the inside. Check those out. Games are becoming more and more demanding, and I think the norm of 16 gigabytes minimum is coming to an end, and 32 gigabytes is approaching the new standard for many. With DDR5 here, yes, timings do matter, but it's a lot different to DDR4. This particular kit is CL36, which is considered fairly decent in DDR5 terms, with speeds of 5600 megahertz. While we are here, firstly, I'd love to genuinely thank you all for being here. YouTube has been treating the tech community tough lately. It's especially hard for us because we can only produce one video a week, so it means a lot to us seeing your comments below. We also want to give back to you all, so we are now hosting monthly giveaways over on our Discord server. I'd love to see you guys over there so we can all get to know each other, share your PCs, or even ask for general PC help. The link will be below. Now, to stick with our all black theme, I've actually decided to go with the Unify SL120 RGB fans. The actual fan blades themselves are black in color. The only lighting that's on them, which is going to be great for highlighting all of the components inside the build, is the lighting that's on the edges of the fan. So with the black blades coming into play, that means that we're ultimately sticking with the theme as much as possible. I've told you guys by now in plenty of videos, but we just love how these fans daisy chain together. This creates a nice clean look and only requires 2 cables, one for the power and one for the lighting. I'd love to see other companies take this on board. Being such a small case, it's very important that we get as much cooling in there as we possibly can. Even though it's only gonna be a CPU only loop, we wanna chuck in 2 SE360 radiators from EK water blocks. The SE360 is actually their, I guess, thinnest radiators that they have to offer, but you know, we love our water cooling, so we're not going to compromise anything. Even though the CPU is only an i7, we don't think it should miss out just because it's got a lower number. That's not in our vocabulary. Let's get 2 of these installed. All right, it is radiator installation time. Let's get the 360mm installed up the top first. We have a bit of an issue. The Corsair RAM is preventing us from putting this in. It's sticking out too much. I think there's only one solution. So we're just going to install 3 fans up the top instead. At least that fits in. We only really need one 360 radiator installed, so I think that's going to be plenty of cooling. Let's go ahead and get these fans installed and we'll be right back. Even though the LIAN O11 Mini says it's compatible with a 360mm radiator up the top, I believe this is a false statement. There is only a total thickness clearance of 25mm according to LIAN. I actually calculated it around 28 to 30mm depending on the RAM. So unless you can find a super thin radiator and mount the fans on the outside of the case, it's not actually possible to fit a 360mm radiator up there. If you were planning a build in this case, it may be wise to take advantage of the side mounting and install up to a 280mm radiator there if you need the extra cooling. Now, I wanted to address the mounting of our fans and the positions that they are at. Every single fan is exhausting in this case. Now, the reason being is we're actually going to leave it as an open case, so there's no such thing as any pressure inside. No negative, no positive, because there is no window. It's not a closed design. Now, we put the fans like this because personally, we actually like the look of this side of the fan a lot better. So that's basically the main reason if you guys were questioning that. One thing that was extremely important for me for this particular system was the fact that because we're making our own custom black liquid with the swells in it, I want to make sure I'm able to show that off to the fullest potential. And I think that the EK Quantum Kinetic Pump Res combo is gonna do just that. This is a 240mm unit, and the perfect space to mount this is gonna be right next to the motherboard on the wall. And this actually has a D5 pump, so there's gonna be plenty of good flow throughout the system. The EK Quantum Kinetic FLT240 actually comes with mounting brackets that allow you to attach it to a fan or to a case fan bracket like we are doing now. I was considering putting fans behind it, not necessarily for the performance, but as a little extra lighting. However, the FLT240 comes with an RGB strip installed, and the fans make it stick out a little too far from my liking. The MSI Aero ITX 3060 Ti GPU is what we're gonna be using today. And this GPU is super small. I'm glad we've actually got one in studio, because now whenever we do an ITX build, we've actually got a GPU that's gonna fit. And GPUs these days, they're absolutely huge. They need to be reduced because I can barely fit a reservoir into systems anymore. Now this thing's gonna look super small in this build, but we're gonna fill it up with some water cooling tubes to fill out any empty spaces. And you know, it's in proportion to the motherboard we're gonna be using. So I think it's gonna be a nice little GPU. The MSI RTX 3060 Ti Aero ITX only has an individual fan for the cooling. However, it is not a hot running card. There is also 4 6mm copper pipes to maximize heat transfer. The card has a boost clock of 1695 MHz with 8 GB of GDDR6 memory, so running games at 1080p and 1440p shouldn't be an issue for this card. So we decided to go with a Cooler Master V850 SFX power supply. There was no real reason why we chose this apart from the fact that it is our highest rated SFX power supply that we have, and I think it's pretty much our only SFX power supply that we have. So that's what we're going with. So there you have it, guys. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Do you think we succeeded in this challenge? I'll leave all of the specs that we used in the video description, and a big thank you for MSI for partnering up with us to complete this awesome all-black stealth PC. If you'd like to help support the channel, Patreon or YouTube channel memberships is the best way to do that. We appreciate it so much. It helps us to create custom PCs like these and continue this daily. I'll leave those links down below. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because we've got plenty more content, and make sure to join the Discord. We'll see you all in the next one.